Every producer needs a producer tag, and in this video I'm going to be showing y'all how you can make one for yourself for free. So with that being said, let's jump right into it. So to start, you're going to need a phrase or a word or some sort of sound bite in order to actually make your tag. If you want to just find a random clip from the internet or from a movie, there's this website called getyarn.io. You can just search in your producer name or something like that. Unfortunately, the word tej is not really said a lot in a lot of movies or anything, at least not in a way that's clippable for a producer tag. I tried doing it once, but it just doesn't work. The second option is get some friends. Have one of them say it for you. That's how I came up with mine. So I'm just gonna end up recreating my tag and just show y'all how I made mine. And y'all can kind of just replicate that process for yourself. So a couple years ago, my boy Sammy and I were cooking up on Discord, and he just recorded me a couple sound bites and sent them to my phone.
Roll up, Tez. That's you, Tez.
And so I just took that screen recording and I turned it into an audio file. I just Googled MOV to wave and then just clicked on the first thing and threw it in here and turned it into a wave file. So once I had that, I threw it into FL Studio and I just clipped out the part that I wanted to use, which was the phrase roll up tej. Got this and just isolated it by itself.
Roll up, Tez.
Once I had this tagline here, the first thing I did was take it and route it to a mixer track using Control L, and then took the little icon off. The first effect that I added was fruity reverb, and with this, I think I ended up using the venue preset and I just tweaked it like I'm about to show you. So I turned the dry down a decent amount, turned down the wet, and turned the decay down a little bit. And I turned up the low cut and turned down the high cut, so we get something that sounds like this.
Roll up, Tez.
So it's a little more spacey than it was before. And then after that, I threw on an EQ.
Roll up, Tez.
So we cut out some of these lows, and there's a little bit of unwanted frequency in this area. So I'm just gonna go through and find it.
Roll up, Tez. Roll up, Tez. Roll up, Tez.
Kind of right there. I'm just gonna move it down a little bit. So now you have a phrase
Roll up, Tez.
with some reverb on it, which is not bad, but we wanted to have some sort of build up or a fade in, kind of like Metro's tag.
Metro booming, want some more, nigga.
So in order to do that, what you want to do is go to your tag here, and I'm gonna go ahead and turn the reverb off for now, and just find the first syllable of it and cut it.
Roll up, Tez. Roll up.
So right, just the word roll is the first syllable. So I'm gonna move this down here.
Roll up. Roll. Roll.
So just the word roll, and then I'm gonna go back to the mixer track and I'm gonna open up another reverb. And the reason being is because the settings are gonna be a lot different on this one. So I'm going to go back to the venue preset. I'm gonna keep the wet pretty high, turn the dry down a little bit, turn the decay up. And so what I wanna do with this one is just make one that lasts longer and is a little more spacey, just so that it fades in cleaner when we make the fade in. So this one's gonna sound a little different than the one up here, but this is what the reverb settings sound on this first syllable. Now what we want to do with this is select probably a couple measures here and go back to your mixer track. We're gonna go to the bottom and just render this whole clip out. So we'll go here, make this red, hit Alt R, and then change the mode to song selection and hit start. And once we have that, we can go ahead and mute this, and we have that clip rendered out. So now that we got this clip, I'm gonna double click on it and hit reverse. So now we get kind of this fade in. And we don't want the original word in there because it kind of has this little weird thing going on at the end. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut out the original word being said. And I'm gonna go ahead and shorten this so we get a tail that's about this long here. And you want this fade in part to overlap a little bit with that first word so it doesn't kind of like make a stutter effect. And I'm gonna go ahead and turn the second reverb off and turn the original back on.
Roll up, Tez.
It just sounds kind of awkward, so we're gonna keep it overlapping a little bit. And then I'm gonna go ahead and fade in the volume like this.
Roll up, Tez.
And I'll go ahead and turn this volume down a little bit because it's pretty loud.
Roll up, Tez.
And just kind of fine tune it, see how much you need to fade it in, and just play with this a little bit and just see how long you want your fade in amount to be.
Roll up, Tez.
And I think I'm gonna go back to this reverb setting. I'll turn the dry and wet up a little bit, just so the tag's a little louder.
Roll up, Tez.
So really fine tune it, get it really perfect, because again, you're gonna be using this a lot, so you want it to be really good. And that's pretty much the whole tag. I mean, it's literally just that phrase and the little buildup. You can experiment around with other effects like delays if you really want to.
Roll up, Tez.
Again, you can fine tune this and make this a little better, but I'm just personally not a fan of it.
Roll up, Tez.
So now that you have your finished tag, what you can do is select the whole area here and then hit Control R to render it out. And if you want it to stay the same length no matter what the tempo is, you can go down to miscellaneous and make sure this is on the save tempo information, and then just hit start. Yeah, that's pretty much the whole process of just how I made my producer tag. It's pretty simple. Overall, you can do this with any word or phrase to make your own tag. I think the hardest part, in my opinion, is just getting that one good tagline and the audio being high quality. Other than that, that's pretty much it. Hope y'all found this helpful. This is a bit of a shorter video, but I feel like this is something that almost any producer can use. And that's gonna do it for me. I'll see y'all in the next one.